20 years ago, did an investment make perfect sense then? But if you haven't looked 20 years later, I know it's an extreme example, it may not be appropriate. There may be less expensive versions. It may be too risky relative to what the client's needs are today. You need to know that. So know who the governing body is that looks after the compliance. Check their compliance record and talk about any blemishes that might be on there. And then lastly, talk to them about how they maintain a very high level of compliance with the letter and the spirit of the rules and regulations. So I think I dominated that 10th point.
Pretty much. There are a couple of points. In the spirit of you talking about, how the oversight, and how they accomplish that. I think a good question is who provides your oversight.
Right.
Like we work with a broker dealer, and so they provide a very high level rigorous oversight of us to make sure that we're following all the rules that we need to follow. So I think that's an important thing to understand with anybody that you work with is who actually provides that oversight, if they do have oversight, and how strict they are with their oversight. And then the second question, which I think is a pretty important question, and it's gotten a lot of press in the recent years, but the simple question of, are you a fiduciary? And that comes with certain licenses, and it comes with certain regulatory oversight that you have. And being a fiduciary is really just, you are required to have the client's best interest in mind when you are making any kind of recommendation. So you put the client's interest ahead of your own. And I think that is the most important question for somebody to ask.
That's good. Are you a fiduciary?
Yes.
And that doesn't mean if somebody is, yes, we are. And I'm agnostic with this. I've met lots of people over the course of my career that are not fiduciaries, but they put the client's best interest at heart, even if they're not legally required to do so. But it is an important topic, and I'm glad you added that. So we covered 10. If you're looking for a financial advisor, you should keep these in mind. Of course, you could just come to us, and then it's nice and simple because we're the best. But in all seriousness, if you know of somebody or you are looking for an advisor, please consider us. You can go to elliottwealth.com and sign up for a complimentary consultation where we could discuss all 10 of these things, our philosophy in working with clients, find out about you and your goals and objectives, and see if there might be a good match. And in terms of the podcast, we would like more listeners, like all podcasters would like. Is that, I said that good English?
Yeah.
Yes. So we would like more listeners. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And I will be back, or we will be back. I'm not sure if we're going to do another episode or not before we part ways. But I will be back with you on the next episode of the Simply Financial podcast very soon. I completely messed that up. Paul, I'm going to have to do that again.
Or you could just leave it in and let people laugh at it.
It could be. So let me just do a good one in case, and we could pick. So we'll leave it there. If you are interested in learning more about Elliott Wealth and you're not a client, you could go to our website, find more information about Lindy, myself, and the rest of the team. You could also, and we would encourage this, sign up for a complimentary consultation where we could discuss these 10 items as well as your goals and objectives and how we might be able to work together. Additionally, we would like more listeners for the podcast. So if you're a listener and you haven't subscribed, please do so. And even more than that, if you could introduce somebody to the podcast that you think would benefit from it, that would be wonderful. I will be back with you on the next episode of the Simply Financial podcast very soon. Thanks for listening.
The views expressed are not necessarily the opinion of SagePoint Financial Incorporated and should not be construed directly or indirectly as an offer to buy or sell any securities mentioned herein. Investing is subject to risks, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Please note, the information being provided is strictly as a courtesy. When you link to any of the websites provided here, you are leaving this website. We make no representation as to the completeness or accuracy of the information provided at these websites, nor is the company liable for any direct or indirect technical or system issues or any consequences arising out of your access to your use of third-party technologies, websites, information, and programs made available through this website. When you access one of these websites, you are leaving our website and assume total responsibility and risk for your use of the websites you are linking to. Securities and advisory services are offered through SagePoint Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Insurance services offered through Elliott Wealth Management, LLC, not affiliated with SagePoint Financial.
Simply Financial is part of the Exvadio Podcast Network. You can find Exvadio podcasts at exvadio.com/podcast, the Apple Podcasts app, iTunes Store, iHeartRadio app, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever you find podcasts. So join us and stay informed and entertained.